first of all, I commend everyone on the panel for fighting a good fight and pushing this medium forward, because Ron and I, 5 years ago, slogged through many days working to put a partnership with Intel around connected TV experience. It was a basis. It was basically connected TV 1.0. So kudos for fighting a good fight. So I've spent the better part of the last 5 years in different emerging media, which has emerged now, which is mobile. My question actually sort of camps on a couple of different points here, which is, so everyone talks about the 3 screens, and I'm curious to get your take. The biggest conversation, arguably one of the biggest conversations that's happening in mobile, is about OS, right? iOS versus Android. In fact, this week is a stellar week of news. I can talk loudly, I do this for a living. Stellar week of news. So you have, if everyone hasn't read Stephen Elop's Burning Platform memo, I highly encourage you to read it. It is one of the most astounding pieces of CEO material.
The Kia basically conceding that we're on a sinking ship and this is a big problem.
And they've got to pick an alternative platform. And then the other interesting bit of news, which was HP's news today, that WebOS is going to power their tablet experience, and then sort of dropping some intimations that WebOS is going to come to the desktop PCs, right? Big kick in the face to Microsoft. So, 3 screens. You see these huge, sort of this OS battle playing out that interestingly has started with the smartphone, is now starting to, get into desktop. Clearly, it's there on tablet. What about the TV?
In terms of the TV device, you will see similar sorts of dynamics going on. There'll be a battle around it. There already is around what is the kind of core platform that those devices run. Right now, there's a lot of still proprietary hardware that goes into the TV sets that creates a difficulty around that, meaning that there won't be. There'll still be a little while where the big guys, especially, are still producing a lot of proprietary hardware that needs proprietary OS support that will create differentiation in the platform. I think the bigger question would be around more the middleware layer on top of that. Do we see a consolidation happening around kind of a certain app environment or a certain kind of model around that sort of middleware layer that would make things interesting, because it would provide the right dynamic for developers who right now are kind of caught in the pinch around this of having to go platform to platform to platform.
Yeah, I think the app platform is the right level to think about. The OSs.
OS can be irrelevant.
But the app platform, and I think that's, as you're saying, first of all, there's a lot of competition between TV manufacturers to try to achieve some advantage there. It's like the original PC business back in the early 80s. And I think we're sort of in that phase.
Yeah, but you do have Google TV today, so you can kind of start to explore what that might be like. I mean, exactly, right? But it comes back down to the user experience. I mean, you can put a bunch of stuff on the television, but if it's hard to navigate, it requires a keyboard and it isn't friendly, it's not really going to succeed. And I agree. I think it comes back to that. What's the content or what's that experience you're trying to have on the television? And I mean, I really hope that there's a lot of choices out there, a lot of good choices for consumers, because a lot of us lived through a period of time when there wasn't a lot of choice on the desktop. And that wasn't necessarily fun either. So I think choice is a good thing. And competition makes all this better.
We've done a lot of talking about kind of like the business perspective on things. As a consumer, I've got 2 MacBooks, I've got an iPad, an iPhone, I've got a Samsung Blu-ray player that's got Vudu, Netflix, Blockbuster on it. I've got an HD TiVo that also has Netflix. I don't have a Roku.
We love you. This industry really likes you.
My question is, like,
He's a Yumi.
I've tried the Yumi and it's awesome. It's very, very cool. And I've got what I would consider to be a fairly non-complex setup at my house, right? I did it all myself, didn't hire anybody or anything like that. My question is, as consumers, when we've got all of these things that are kind of early stage, right? What should we do? Like, what do we buy? Do we wait? Is this the kind of thing where we're long on a position? Is this the kind of thing where we just sit back and watch what happens for a couple of years? From a consumer perspective, like, what's the right play?
So I actually get the question all the time, from having been in technology and all that. And I have to say, best thing to do is a game platform. Right now, it's like the PlayStation. The PlayStation is an amazing piece of equipment. It's a great Blu-ray player. It's a great game machine. It's a great audio player for still CDs. It's got, you know, if you're the type that's into DNLA and like you have home servers, it's, you know, do all that automatically. It's just like, and they subsidize it, right? So what you're actually getting in terms of and that usually is the thing that makes people buy it. It's like, oh, well, if the cost of goods, like if the actual cost of goods that they sell it for, exceeds the price they sell it for, it must be a good deal, right? Because they're actually hoping, right? Because they're hoping to make that up in software sales. And if you're not a gamer, you win.
Could each of you tell me if you could only buy one device and not the one that your company currently makes? We expect you would buy that one. But if you could only buy one device, what would it be? Zane, clearly you'd buy a game machine.
Yes,
Okay, Jim, what would you buy?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
You would buy a Roku, of
No,
course.
the Roku's not an option.
I'll tell you, well, here's my thinking. I would buy the least expensive device that delivers what I want today under the theory that I'm going to replace it in a year or 2 years.
Okay, so you're a serial buyer then.
Yeah,
You're going to buy every single
I
year.
wouldn't spend $2,000 on a TV that'll be obsolete in 2 years.
So what would that be today?
We're going to have a conversation with you. Rob, what would you buy?
Well, we don't make any of the hardware, so I can just
Oh,
buy
that's easy then. Okay,
any of the
so this
TVs
is
that have
fair.
our stuff in it. You need a display. The way I look at it is you gotta get a high quality display, because in the end that's what you're looking at. So, and do that. And in terms of the question before kind of spawned it is, the whole thing is there something you want to do? If there's something you want to do, go buy a device that does it.
Okay, so
That's a simple answer.
you buy really nice television?
Yeah, nice
Okay,
television.
really nice
television display, because then I'm
Because
set
then
for
you're
at least a few years in
good.
terms of hooking
I'd
up on
buy
this
an
stuff.
Apple TV.
You'd buy an Apple TV. Oh, we've changed. Okay. And you're going to buy one next year too?
Yeah. It's cheaper to replace a product that's $99 today than a product that's...
Very good. Okay, Gina, what would you buy?
Yeah, I go back. It's what you need and what you're trying to do. Go buy that if you really need it. Otherwise, I would wait, because I think this is a big transition year on a lot of things. So I'd probably wait another year.
Okay.
It's a big elephant in the room, the advertiser, because they're the ones that drive all the content and drive all. I mean, you haven't addressed advertising
That's quite
dollars, and consumer dollars are peanuts compared to advertising dollars.
Yeah, we know a lot about that.
Do they really matter?
They completely matter.
Advertisers really pay for everything?
They
Okay,
completely
so
matter.
in fact, it really doesn't matter what the consumer's going to say. It's really what the advertiser's willing to provide.
But the advertising dollars compared to the consumer dollars are small, right?
Okay.